In this early part of the 21st century, the world faces many significant challenges. Ageing populations, climate change issues, severe financial constraints on public services, and declining natural resources are all current major concerns. More than ever, nations are depending on higher education institutions to provide intellectually stimulating experiences that help to guarantee the future development of innovative researchers, scientists, and entrepreneurs. Without capitalising on the potential intellectual wealth of learners from all backgrounds, the world may not realise the innovative health treatments and industrial processes it will need to survive an uncertain future. It is therefore increasingly important that universities ensure that there are no significant barriers to the educational opportunities that they offer. This is where inclusive teaching practice comes in. Inclusive teaching seeks to ensure that no individual is disadvantaged from learning and developing to their maximum potential. Inclusive approaches are increasingly important for teachers who routinely now deal with large, diverse groups of students with different learning needs, styles, and varying levels of ability and knowledge. Steps to inclusive teaching are many and varied, and not all include the use of technology. So, for example, one very basic inclusivity step is to make sure information of when, where, and how students can contact their tutors is online and up to date. Obviously, as with most information, if this is online, it will be easier for any students to get at the information at any time from anywhere. Another way that education technology can easily support inclusivity is through the availability of class learning resources. These could be copies of annotated slides or other text-based supporting information. Alternatively, videos or other learning objects could be made available, ideally before a class. Making learning resources available in advance of a class means that students have 24/7 access to key materials. Students can use a range of accessibility features built into computers and software to make it easier, especially for international, disabled, and possibly mature students to make use of the learning resources. In addition, of course, if the materials are available in advance, then students can prepare for an upcoming class. The recording of lectures and other forms of classroom-based presentations is growing in popularity. Making recordings available after a class, just like handouts before a class, can especially help students where English is not their first language. In addition, of course, generally, videos can be beneficial to students with certain disabilities and can help all students when it comes to revision prior to final course assessments. Yet another way to foster inclusivity within a course is to provide students with a range of ways through which they can demonstrate their achievement of learning objectives. Varying the nature of assessment types used on a course, for example, an e-portfolio, an online test, a group wiki, or online presentation, can all add breadth to the opportunities that different students have to demonstrate their mastery of a subject or a skill. While still exploring the assessment theme, we all know that students should benefit from feedback on their work, especially if they act on that feedback. Using the basic technology available within most virtual learning environments, it is quite straightforward now to ensure that feedback on student work is accessible online, possibly associated with an annotated version of any submitted written work. It is also fairly straightforward these days to provide feedback in alternative formats, the most obvious being an audio file. One can easily see how receiving such a critical element of learning, tutor feedback, in a readily accessible online form can serve to provide students with the flexibility to access and revisit feedback whenever and from wherever they like. Overall, it is clear that education technology can impact on inclusivity and student learning in a number of ways, from the presentation of information and knowledge, through enabling ways to collaborate and work together, and to providing convenience and variety in modes of assessment and feedback. Central in all of these uses of technology is the ability to access and engage in activity from anywhere and at any time. To find out more about inclusive teaching, check out these excellent resources.